Hi everyone, good morning or good afternoon. I'm not sure what time I will be giving my presentation, but I wanted to talk with everyone today a little bit about mortgages and home equity line of credit, what we more commonly call the HELOC. I'm not going to go a whole lot into detail, just going to provide some basic information for everyone regarding both of these products. So thank you very much. Let's get started. I'd like to start by talking about some of the key differences between a mortgage and a HELOC. The primary purpose of a mortgage is to finance the purchase of a home or to refinance your home. The primary purpose of a HELOC is to borrow against the equity in your existing home, a home that you already own. The difference between the loan structure for a mortgage and a HELOC is that for a mortgage, it is a one-time lump sum to buy that property and or a one-time lump sum for that refinance of the property. Whereas the loan structure with a HELOC, it is a revolving line of credit, like a credit card, that you can draw as you need. How the funds are accessed. So with a mortgage or a refi, that is a simple lump sum at the time of the purchase and or the refi. With your HELOC, you can borrow, repay, and borrow again during the draw period, which is why it makes it so similar to that of a credit card in comparison of the two. The use between the two, for the mortgage or the refi, it is simply that, to buy a home and or to refinance your current existing home. And for the home equity, the use is, there are several different things that honestly that you can use that HELOC for, but some quick examples would be maybe some home renovations, college tuition, medical bills, debt consolidation, maybe even that trip to the Grand Cayman. I mean, come on, right? We all want to go there. So now that I've shared with you a few of the differences between each product and you've got a basic understanding, let's just break it down a little bit more. So first we're going to start out, we're going to talk a little bit about mortgages. So what is it that we have to offer our mortgage members? We have a knowledgeable, experienced mortgage team. We have quick approval process, low to no down payment, no private mortgage insurance required, 15 and 10-year fixed mortgages. We also offer a 5-year balloon mortgage, and most importantly, we have very, very competitive rates. Now you may ask, but Sandy, I don't really know where our rates are at, or I really don't know what the rates are. I don't know what to say to this member. Well, you know what? I think that's a great question, and I understand your sense of being a little bit nervous about it. Um, our rates, however, can be found on our website. They can also be found in our shared drive. And this, guys, is probably the most important, what I'm about to say right now. If you have someone on the phone and they're asking about our mortgage product, if you have them in the lobby and they're asking about our mortgage product, try to get them to a mortgage specialist right then, because the goal is to get that application started, help that member become and get to what it is that they're after, which obviously is the mortgage. So if we have a representative available right then, ideally that's what we want to do, is we want to get them over to see that mortgage specialist so that they can help them and they can get that application started. So as we talked on the last slide, ideally we want to get that application started, that mortgage application. So one of the first things that we want to do, obviously, is get them to the mortgage specialist so that they can talk to them and ideally try to fit them into the mortgage that will be best for that member. Our mortgage officer will get that application started. They're going to verify the documents. Once we get that member a pre-approval, we'll let them know that they've got that pre-approval and that they can start shopping for a home. Part of the home buying process is that you do put a purchase agreement on the home. So once they get to the point where the purchase agreement has been signed, our mortgage specialist is going to request a little bit of additional documentation from them, and we're going to get a home appraisal started. Once we've got that appraisal started, we've got that back, the mortgage officer is going to start preparing that mortgage package for closing. It's going to go through a review process, and closing will then be scheduled, and voila, there you have it. We've helped our member. We've now helped them get the home of their dreams, and they are now all set. So now that we've briefly talked a little bit about the mortgage process, what a mortgage is and the mortgage process, and a simple step, quick, brief walkthrough, let's talk a little bit about the home equity line of credit, or the HELOC. So a little bit about the HELOC. What can I use my HELOC for? Well, to answer you, there are actually many different things that a HELOC can be used for. Some examples might be debt consolidation. So pay attention when the member is at your window. Are they talking a lot about having a lot of debt and trying to make those bills month to month? This might be an opportunity for you to get a referral by referring them for a home equity line. Home improvements, again, your front line, pay attention to what they're saying. Is a member talking about maybe wanting to build a pole barn? Are they talking about maybe wanting to renovate their home? Setting aside for emergency funds, this is always a good idea. Cars, they may want to purchase an older car. We have a couple of members that purchase older cars and do fix them up. Paying medical expenses, buying another property, and vacation. These are all good things, and they're not inclusive. There are so many more things that a home equity line of credit can be used for. Paying attention to what the member's saying while they're at your window. We might have a member who wants to buy property in the UP because they're going to be retiring, so they want to get that land now. This would be an opportunity where they could possibly use a home equity line if they have a current home. What do we offer our HELOC members? Knowledgeable, experienced mortgage team, low closing costs, and in talking with our mortgage specialists, those costs typically are $1,000 or less. Competitive variable rates. Our HELOCs are a minimum of $10,000 up to $150,000. 15 and 25-year loans. And we have quick closing from time of application to the time member can draw funds. This time is typically between 2 and 3 weeks. And since we have competitive rates, it's very important that all of us know where we can locate this information quickly for the members. And again, just like with our mortgages, our HELOC rates can be found on our website, shared drive. And as I mentioned earlier, when talking about the mortgages, if you have a member on the phone, if you have a member in the lobby, and you can connect them right then with a mortgage specialist, my suggestion would be that that's what we're doing, is trying to make that immediate connection with them at that time. But remember, application can be started online, over the phone, and also in person with that mortgage representative. So what does our simple HELOC application process look like? The application is started with the mortgage specialist, who will collect all the necessary documents. The member signs all disclosures. An appraisal will be ordered. This can take 1 to 2 weeks to get back from the appraiser, and this is typically one of the longest wait periods during the HELOC process. Documents, once we have all of our documents in, documents will receive final review and approval. The member will then sign, and then the loan will be dispersed 3 business days after closing, and voila, we have another HELOC closed. We have a happy member. And what does that mean for all of us? That means that we are growing the credit union, and we all know that when we grow, for us, that means that possibly we could get a bigger, better bonus, right, everyone? And last and most importantly, as I've talked throughout this whole presentation process, I've referenced our mortgage and our HELOC team. So I'd just like to take a few moments to introduce you both to wonderful Dominic and awesome Ryan. Thanks, guys. You do a really good job with getting us those HELOCs and mortgages. Keep them coming.